What's going on? It's your boy Bowie here, aka the Glaciologist, aka the Sub Scientist. It's been a long time since we've talked about some tech, some Sub-Zero tech on this channel. And it's not because Sub-Zero doesn't have any, but you know, it's rather because your boy's been very, very busy. I've been a very busy young man, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here to show, I wouldn't even call it a new piece of tech or anything like that. I'm just here to expand our knowledge base. Because as Sub-Zero players, we have something that we do all the time. Something that I once advised people not to do in a video or two. And that is using Ford 1-2 Klone on block. Because this scenario is so common. You know, I watch Sub-Zero players and they'll do Ford 1-2 Klone on block because they want to trap people behind the ice clone. And against some characters it works, but then others like Smoke just break out of it for free. So what are some remedies? Well, one remedy is to do 2-1 Klone. Most characters cannot get out of 2-1 Klone. A lot of them can. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple, namely Rain, Quan Chi, and Conan. They can break out of 2-1 Klone on block. You know. The other thing I suggested was back 3 Klone. Nobody gets out of back 3 Klone except Raiden, ironically, because Raiden has like a huge fucking hitbox. It's massive. But between back 3 and 2-1 Klone, those are basically inescapable. But one issue with back 3 is sometimes it can whiff. You know what I'm saying? And it's actually quite a unique animation for Sub-Zero. And it's a departure from what we would normally do. See, the opponent expects us to be doing 2-1. They expect us to be doing 4-1-2. You know, you've been hitting people with mids the whole match, hopefully. And you've been making people run into 2-1s. So what do? Well, I've actually found out that Ford 1 Klone is a little bit different than Ford 1-2 Klone. I want you to notice, you see that pole back there? I want you to notice what happens. Look at where Ice Clone is normally, right? Notice it's closer when I do Ford 1-2 Klone. You see how the finger's touching the exact center of the pole? Like the middle finger of the right hand of the clone is like the center of the pole, right? Now look at Ford 1 Klone. The whole hand is behind the clone. It's behind the pole. You see that? Which is a little bit closer than 2-1 Klone. You see that? As a matter of fact, this is a really good gauge to test where you can clone from and stuff like that. But anyway, see, I thought Ford 1 Klone put it at the same distance as Ford 1-2 Klone. It does not. Ford 1 Klone pushes it slightly further back. One important consequence of this is that Ford 1 Klone will often trap opponents that Ford 1-2 Klone would not. Watch this. So here's Ford 1-2 Klone. You saw me. Broke right out of it, right? Okay. Now watch Ford 1 Klone. Notice Smoke can't break it. He can't break it. He pokes, he's dead. Any poke he does, he's frozen. He can't even do certain attacks. If he jumps back and tries to kick it, he's done. He certainly can't jump forward either. He can neutral jump. But if he jumps forward, he's cooked. He can jump backwards, but if he tries to kick, he's frozen. I would say that's pretty good. That's very useful for us. So we need to start using forward 1 clone. Because forward 1 clone actually traps certain characters that previously escaped forward 1-2 clone. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me add some caveats. So one caveat is this should be used against an opponent that's stand blocking. If they are blocking low, then you can use forward 1-2 clone all day and it just doesn't matter. Let me show you what I mean. So notice where the clone is here, where they're stand blocking, right? Now watch when smoke starts to crouch block. Where's the standing shit? Oh, it's over here. That's why I was tripping. Now, oh, he's still standing though. Motherfucker, stay down. Oh, I gotta hold the joint. Okay. Look at that. You see how much further that is? Now, forward 1 clone and forward 1-2 clone are pretty much at the same distance on crouch block. But that's not true when they're standing. You see that? Forward 1-2 clone, when they're stand blocking, is much closer than forward 1 clone is. Forward 1 clone also happens to have the benefit of being an armor breaker for some of those slower armor characters, like Reptile, or Liu Kang, or Takeda, or even Reiko. You can just do this to them anyway, and if they try to armor out, they die. So this has a dual purpose. So in testing, there are some characters that cannot be trapped with this. Let me show some of those examples now. So Ermac is one of those characters that forward 1-2 clone will not work on, because he breaks out immediately. Great. See that? He can even alternate block and it still breaks out, right? But then also forward 1 clone doesn't work either. See that? So forward 1 clone is not foolproof. So for characters like this, we still have to use 2-1 clone. See? He doesn't break out of that immediately. See that? Or we gotta use back 3 clone. Because whether it hits or it don't hit, they're kind of trapped. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, back 3 clone, it works on everybody, but it has the clone the furthest distance away. So that's not quite ideal. And notice stand 2 clone doesn't do nothing, so you don't want to use that. You want to use 2-1 clone. See that? So we got to be mindful of that right there. Let me try stand 3 clone. What does that do? Oh shit. Ooh, I gotta experiment with that one. I like stand 3 clone. My only problem with stand 3 is it's a high and it's a single hit, and so I don't want people like ducking the shit and killing us for it. I'd rather start with a mid of some kind or do a string, but we can do stand 3 clone. That might be something to experiment with further. But let me show you some shit with some other characters as well. This MF right here. The goddamn police, T-1000. Now, I want you to notice that... Whoops. Ooh, I messed up so bad. I want you to notice that Ford 1-2 Klone, he breaks out. See that? But Ford 1 Klone, whoops. Oh, he broke out of it the same. Never mind. I thought I tested him and I thought he didn't break out. He does. He does. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's broken. He breaks right out. Okay. So against T-1000, it's 2-1 Klone for us. And really, we got to be very wary of even canceling on block, because he has that. A good T-1000 is just going to do this every time. And they can wait to see the clone and then be like, oh, punish. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you're fighting a T-1000 that doesn't know that shit, you know, you can kind of kill him, you know? But let me give you a quick rundown of who this works on and who it don't work on. So, Ford 1 Klone will trap all the female characters with the exception of 2, Katana and Sindel. You may remember from a previous video where I mentioned that Sub-Zero can't use Ford 1-2 Klone on block against any of the girls except for like Sector and Lee May. You know, so that's now been updated. Ford 1 Klone works on all the girls except Katana and Sindel. Against those two, you need to be doing 2-1 Klone because they literally can't do shit. If you do 2-1 Klone and they're stand blocking, they are like fucked. They're like fucked. Like, it's horrible. Matter of fact, let me demonstrate that real quick. So here we have Sub-Zero Katana. So Katana's got it so bad to where she stops blocking after Ford 1-2 Klone, she gets frozen. But she can break out of it very easily. All she got to do is let go of block real quick and tap it, and she breaks it on command, right? So that's what she can do. So if you're fighting a Katana that understands this and knows this, that's when you employ this right here. Because notice, oh, she can't even duck. She had better keep blocking. Because if she lets go of block and then moves, she's frozen. That was me trying to jump. That's me trying to duck. That's me moving back. That's me moving forward. So ain't no poking, no sweeping, no nothing. She can't do shit. So if you get a Katana to stand block your 2-1 Klone, whoo, she's in trouble. She can't do a goddamn thing. Now let me test stand 2 Klone, see what that does. Oh, it's the same shit. Stand 2 Klone is fuck. Oh my god. Yeah. So stand 2/2-1 Klone will demolish Katana because she can't break out of it. Oh wait, what? Never mind. Wait a minute. This is why we lab, people. Yeah, okay, so 2-1 Klone she can't break out of, but 2 Klone she can. Wow. I'm just discovering shit all over the place. So notice, 2-1 clone, there's no kind of blocking she can do. She damn sure can't jump. But then 2 clone, she can break it. Now, let me see what happens if I stay at my original distance. Yeah, the only problem with 2 clone is that it's very distance dependent. You got to be right next to your opponent, which is why I don't recommend it. What happens with 3 clone? Ooh. Yeah, she breaks it. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so as you can see, certain characters you can't use forward 1 clone on because they break, right? So Katana, Sindel, you can't use forward 1 clone on them as women, but all the other women, you can use it. And they're stuck. Okay? So who does forward 1 clone not work on in totality? It doesn't work on Ermac, Katana, Sindel, Rain, Raiden, Quan Chi, and Conan. And then we tested T-1000. Doesn't work on him either. You don't want to do anything with T-1000 anyway, because that low spike will just kill you. But compared to everyone else in the cast, I mean, I named, what, 10 characters just now? There's 35 characters in the game. So 25 of them you can do forward 1 clone on, and you can be pretty much sure that they, you know, you're pretty much safe with Sub-Zero. Okay? So we need to start incorporating that in our game, especially if we're fighting this motherfucker here, Cyrax. I mean, if you get Cyrax in the corner, knowing that you have the means to stop her from breaking out of your clone is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not like you have to do a whole lot. So you could just be out here. Well, let's have her block a little bit. So let's say you got her blocking. Now she's trapped. You know what I'm saying? Forward 1 EX clone. She's trapped for 4 seconds. Can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? And just so that you understand that she really is like trapped for real, let's look. See that? She does any kind of poke. Nothing. She better try to do that. She can't even armor out. Oh, yes, she can. If she's fast enough, she can. But that's pretty much all she can do. And maybe, like, leap out. There's that move that she does. I forgot what that thing is. Where she, oh, yeah. Yeah, she can do that. But if she tries to move otherwise, she can't press. She can't do shit. She can't even leap. If she does a neutral leap, she gets frozen. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that's quite potent, I think, for us as Sub-Zero players. So if you play Sub-Zero, be sure to use forward 1 clone. Especially EX clone. But hell, even if it's the regular clone, you still get access to this shit here. You know what I'm saying? See that? Yeah, forward 1 clone is the one right there. Yeah. So, in conclusion, if you are Sub-Zero and you put somebody in the corner, understand that your main strings you need to be canceling into Klone are forward 1-2 Klone. That works against half the cast. 2-1 Klone. That works against most of the cast. Back 3 Klone. That works against most of the cast. But this has the disadvantage of starting with a high. This has the disadvantage of being a unique animation that people can scout. Also, people tend to jump over the shit sometimes, and then you get fucked up. But now you can use forward 1 Klone, and you got enough time to do your throw low game. You see? So yeah, make use of that, you guys. Let me know how y'all feel about that. I'll catch y'all later. Stay froze.